So recently I was trying out some spellbook swapping while PKing, basically starting on Ancients, and then I switch over to Lunars, and I cast a Vengeance out of nowhere. Unfortunately, it didn't work in this situation. I probably shouldn't have spec'd there, but I've been doing a lot of testing with this method, and I've also been in the BH worlds recently. So yeah, I have some exciting ideas for you guys later on this month, but today, welcome to a brand new video, guys. This is going to be done on my main account as well as my 20 defense pure whose house? Swerve's house. That is absolutely right. The stats are on the screen there. 60 attack build, and we are going to be killing bots for 10 hours today all across RuneScape, keeping my risk low but the profit high. First off, I want to check out a location, the Zombie Pirates. This is also the Elder Chaos Druids. Recently, because of an update here, there are a ton of bots. The very first one I ran into was just using a basic range setup, and since he's always going to be praying magic due to the Elder Chaos Druids, this means that I have ample opportunity to hit incredibly high with my range or my melee weapon. Since I was risking low, I was just using a DDS as a special attack weapon, but that's all I needed because this bot was such low combat level compared to the level 90s per se, which are much harder to kill. Before we continue though, this video is brought to you by Boot.dev. Boot.dev is building the smartest way to master backend development by tackling the hardest problem with e-learning, boredom. Their platform uses tactics learned from modern game design to push ambitious students towards their goal, a career in backend development. Through hands-on lessons that balance theory with practice and an active Discord community, students are prepared to tackle technical interviews and forge a successful programming career. And they never want a student feeling like they spent money on something that isn't helping them, so they offer a 30-day no questions asked refund policy and a free demo of every course and its interactive features. And hey, the Boot.dev community on Discord is active and there to help you if you ever get stuck on coding challenges or learning how to code in general. Learning to code is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Boot.dev believes in going deep, taking time on the fundamentals so that you are as prepared as you can be for your future job opportunities. Make sure to click the link in the description below, and that link will save you 25% off by using code MrNoSleep on your first purchase. That is 25% off on whichever membership package that you choose. And a huge thank you to Boot.dev for sponsoring today's video. Alright, what do we get from the key? 195k, which really isn't that bad considering he had 0 drops on him. So now we have the second kind of bot that you can encounter here. This is what I call the cudgel bot. These bots are much harder to kill. In my experience, once they get past this bridge here that I'm standing on, it's a lot harder to kill them just because there's nothing else attacking them other than you. And since my gear choice was a little questionable, little welfare for this specific location, all they really need to do is have a lot of food on them and just use effective prayer switching, which as you can see in 2024, these bots are very advanced to the point where even if you're not wearing any magic equipment and you're still throwing ice barrage at them, they get used to it. It's almost like they're learning as every second of the fight goes on. Like they learn my rotation, they learn my pattern, and it's kind of scary. So these guys are very hard to kill. So I would say if you're going to be killing these bots at this specific location, bring a teammate with you, bring a small clan, and you can instantly kill them rather than having to do everything yourself, since it is multi-combat the whole time anyway. I was also considering doing Monkey Madness on Swerve's house so that I can use the Dragon Scimitar special attack, and maybe that could drop their prayer at the Elder Chaos Druid location, and then all that damage would just stack up. So I was also considering that. Maybe I'll do that in a future upload, but I did run into all sorts of bots here, and they all seem to be equipped with a good prayer switching. So I don't think it's really worth it to solo PK here, just because you're running the risk of running into teams, which can always be unfortunate. But I did return here after a few inventories of encountering range and melee bots, and I found a massive magic bot farm here. They're all using the Accursed Scepter, and I really can't imagine how many kills an hour these guys get. They're so advanced that while they throw the Entangle at me, they actually unequip all of their black D'Hide to increase the chance of it not splashing me. This combined with the perfect tick prayer switching and the insane eating ability too, it makes it insanely hard to kill them. They actually walk underneath you too to like delay your action. It's crazy advanced. As you can see, this bot is running underneath me as this team is killing me, and I just figured out what they're doing. They're logging out. So yeah, they're that smart. They're to freeze you and then stand underneath you to log out. This is also a prime example of why you should not solo PK here, and why you should never bring a Granite Maul to spec someone in multi-combat. That is not what you bring for multi. That Maul wasn't it, but GG, though I did lose about 200k there. Alright, let's go ahead and check out the Wilderness Agility Arena. So so this is going to be some lower level bots that are just trying to make some GP, but I doubt that they're going to be risking that much at all because, I mean, how can you escape here? There's so much attacking you. The risk is so high for these people to even try botting here is just astounding to me. I feel like it's a complete waste of time, but hey, I mean, if these bots want to show up and not make a single dime, then that's okay with me. I'll just take all their profits as I kill them. But unfortunately, I quickly realized that the profit was not high. All these keys are like under 20k, some of them are like 500 GP, so I guess these bots don't last here because there's probably a decent amount of people checking this spot, and unfortunately the only guy that I killed, which I really didn't even mean to kill, I think I only hit him one time and then he unfortunately fell off the obstacle. I think it was an Iron Man and it was a 1.2 mil key. Matter of fact, I almost managed to kill this level 33, but he did unfortunately not cut the webs. It's a shame he didn't try again though, that would have been something. But either way, here are the keys: 7.8k from the first one, 21k, and then 13k. So the bots really don't have much here, but of course the unfortunate Iron Man that I ran into did. So yeah, a little bit of a backtrack for him, but it'll be all right. I did return here on my main account this time around to see if there was any higher level bots, but it didn't really seem to pan out. There wasn't any that I ran into, and I did clear quite a few worlds. In the process of doing so, I did kill a few people, and I even witnessed the death of this guy in Mystic, so poor guy. But yeah, I tried out the Zerite crossbow here. It's really effective, even if they are praying range. This thing hits through it like a knife on butter, or I should say in butter. Also ran into a Mage Arena 1 bot, so we killed him. So we'll open up these keys and conclude that probably not the greatest place to kill bots at the Wilderness Agility Arena. So after a break from that and a little bit of PvP on Swerve's house, I decided to go check out another famous bot location in the Wilderness, none other than Spindle. While that level 95 has a huge risk, I can't attack him on my main though, so let's bring Swerve. Maybe we'll be there in time. And it looks like he left. That is unfortunate. That would have been a very nice PK. But here we are with both of our accounts, and we're going to be killing all sorts of Spindle bots. Just like the zombie pirate bots, these guys have many different setups. It might be different bot farms. It might be a bot owner who has a sense of creativity. I don't really know. But this one specifically was wearing guffins, and unfortunately he doesn't lose any of the pieces on death. But we get a solid 513k from him, so we will take it. We're going to start a 10-hour timer now. Had a lot of fun checking out other locations, but let's just stick with 2 locations. Let's do 5 hours of bot killing at Spindle and 5 hours of bot killing at Artio. So I already showed you guys the Guffins bot. This is what I call the D'hide bot. So these guys just wear a D'hide shield along with that new hunter cape. And here we have the Monk Robe bot, the most successful out of the whole farm. 14,000 Spindle KC from this creature here. And yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. So it seems to me that the Monk Robe ones are thriving the most. They've been here the longest, and that's why they have the highest KC. The second one that I killed here is actually 16,000 Spindle KC. Probably billions of GP made just from this combat bracelet wearing bot alone. So it's kind of crazy. That's why we have to keep killing them, keep demotivating the bot owner to keep this farm going and make the price of that Void Waker go back up, along with just, you know, helping out the game in general, and of course making some, you know, pretty decent profit at the same time. A little questionable, I know, but here we go, another key, 742k from this one. And this is what I'm saying, it's just like printing money at this point. It's just every single key at a minimum is like 450k, and that's at a minimum. It can be upwards to, I'd say, sometimes 900k if you're lucky, but you'll definitely occasionally see that 700, 800k figure show up. And one thing that I realized quickly about Spindle is that I can't really use my 20 defense pure at all here because most of these bots range from above combat level 100. So the fact that a lot of them do escape the cave and run south, it would just make it much more challenging. And some of these bots are truly impenetrable. This one here, who goes by the name of Cat Damon, perhaps a Matt Damon bot owner fan, but he was just, I could not kill him. 109 combat, perfect prayer switching on his end, not to mention I suck in general, and just the venom was hitting 20s and I was hitting 0s. You know, I just could not manage to get the kill on this guy. So he did escape me. Similar thing happened with this next level 115, but I just managed to get him at the end. Only about 386k key from those ones, so they're not risking that much, but they're like the hardest to kill. Here we have another D'hide bot. So yeah, the Barrows bots, the Guffin guy earlier, as well as these guys, the ones with the D'hide and the hunter cape, and then we have the Initiate helmet and Monk Robe ones. Those are all easier to kill than than the rune plate body, rune plate leg bots. Just something to keep in mind. It's pretty interesting that you have like 4 different options of bots that you can kill here, all ranging from different levels of difficulty. So, you know, it's just there's options for everyone. There's bots here for everyone to kill. Almost an 800k key that time from the rune wearing bot, but there's another monk robe one. And now that I've gone over the description of these bots, you guys really don't need me to go into more detail about that. Some of them obviously did put up a fight. You know, you had to run down 20 levels of wilderness. You had to splash a lot of entangles, but overall it was a very fun first hour of killing these Artio bot, or I'm sorry, these Spindle bots. I'm jumping ahead on myself. So overall we have 3 loot keys on Swerve, which does come out to be about 1.6 mil, and on my main Mr. No Sleep we have 13 loot keys, which comes out to be about 6.8 mil. So 1.6 mil on Swerve, 6.8 mil on the main means that I made about 8.4 mil in 1 hour. So things really have not changed, although it seems like these are built from the ground up bots now. Last time I covered Spindle, it was all hacked accounts that it was so sad to see these max players become Spindle bots for these bot farm owners. Now it seems like these are bots built from the ground up. I don't believe that any of these accounts are hacked, but again, I could be wrong. I had no problem taking down this guy who had half of a setup, you know, looks like he forgot the amulet boots and rope bottom, but that's all right. We took him down, no problem. One thing I absolutely love about this bot farm specifically is that when you bring a Bofa, they never pray range on it. It's always great when they get smited too. That helps out the cause a lot, and it just makes these keys much quicker to grab. Occasionally, you know, there's always going to be that PVMer there that looks like an anti-PKer. So I went ahead and it tested my luck on this guy, although I was risking a ton. It seemed that, you know, he wasn't really trying his best to fight back. Either that or he was frozen. And yeah, I did manage to get the kill. Gunsling there, 2.4 mil in the bag. That is incredible. Definitely more than any bot would bring. And here, ladies and gentlemen, I fall for a lure. I mean, I wouldn't really call this a lure because I had a feeling this guy was going to teleblock me once I entered a Spindle cave. But what happens next, I was not expecting. So you guys know me. I'm not an expert PKer, and I definitely never risk this much GP. So I was trying my best just to exit the cave and log out. And I guess I was misclicking. I was panicking. My heart was racing in this moment because I knew what was about to happen if I didn't get the log out in time. And yeah, I was attacked by a max mage, and I was down to 1 brew, and I teleported. Had I not prayed magic on that teleblock in the beginning, I would have 100% lost 100 mil. So with that being said, let's not ever do that again, and let's just target these bots. It's when we start getting a little reckless. You know, we go for the solo PKer. We go for that weird looking Iron Man. That's when bad things happen. But if you just come here and kill bots, only good things can happen. Not only are you helping out the game and your bank at the same time, but you're not putting yourself up against a normal player. And a normal player can be unpredictable. Luckily, these bots are all predictable, which leads us to another successful hour that has gone by, cashing in 3 keys here, all over 500k. Like I said, it is a money printer, guys. We got to take down this whole bot farm. We actually had another great hour, 7.6 mil profit in that hour. So things are just looking up. I mean, this could be potentially one of the best money makers in the game as it goes for just hourly rate of GP. Of course, there's really no rare that you can get here. There's no pet that you can get here unless you want to kill these bots because they all have pets. You know, you see those pets be freed. But yeah, just constant money. I mean, even these bots bring divine super combat potions, which are 20k a piece now. So just one potion is 20k. It's ridiculous. And it looks like they're pretty arrogant when it comes to banking. Like they can stay here up to getting like 10, 15 loots in their bag, and that can just add to your key like no other. Another great thing, as I mentioned before, is that they never pray range when you're using a crystal Bofa. So you can bring full crystal here, although after my experience, I'm never doing that again. But Elite Void works just as well. And guess what? They don't prey on the dark bow either. So if you want to come here and max out your dark bow on these bots, especially if you have a quiver, right? If you're maxed with a quiver, you can see those 50-50 dark bow specs like no other. I think the highest that I saw with a dark bow was a 48, but yeah, it's just incredible with that new quiver update. So it's a lot of fun to, you know, kind of customize your setup to your liking once you get a good feel for killing these bots. You know, it's always good to give someone advice, but you never really know what it's about until you do it yourself. And once you do it yourself, you know, you can kind of calculate the risk of what you want to bring if you happen to run into a PK or get full teleblocked, because that can always happen. Anything can happen in the wilderness. That's why I always go back to it, because even after 15 years of playing, you know, I still get surprised. And most of the time that I get surprised, it's in the wilderness, as you're about to see here. All right, so here's a solo PKer. Keep in mind, I don't really have anything to expect at this point other than a fight. fight, and I'm not really thinking much else is going to happen. So I was doing so well, and then he pulled out this dragon spear, and I was thinking, well, I'm not in multi or anything. And of course, I don't have the multi-line plugin, so I was just like unaware of my surroundings, I guess you could say. And yeah, the spear special attack happened, and then my death quickly followed after that. So it was a rough loss, about 40 mil loss, and what can I say? You know, it just happens. A few hours after that happened, I logged back in and I finally enabled the multi-line plugin. So that will never happen again under any circumstance. And yeah, I wish I would have had the multi-line plugin enabled before. Clearly, it takes me a few times to learn from my mistakes, but as long as you learn eventually, I guess that's all that matters, right? So let's continue on. We have a little bit more to do here at Spindle. Quite a lot more bots to kill. As you can see, it's just so much fun killing these guys when you're just constantly hitting them with your max hit with range. The dark bow added a little bit of spice to this, and I really enjoyed using it, so I should really get that quiver soon. I have been contemplating it, so I'll definitely keep you guys updated on that. But overall, yeah, just continuing to kill these bots, and it still can be said that killing the bots wearing the adamant full helm, the rune plate body, and the rune plate legs with the rune boots are definitely the hardest to kill out of all of them. Every other bot style here, very easy to kill as long as you don't, you know, splash on those freezes. It's just, yeah, I mean, you're constantly hitting them, and either inside the room or outside the room, the DPS is super high. Not to mention that they're already going to be a little bit low on food anyway, since they're, you know, killing Spindle, and you do take a little bit of damage here and there. Even if you do perfect prey flicking, I'm sure they're taking damage somehow. So their supplies are limited, and as long as you're having some pretty good DPS weapons like Fire Surge, Bofa, Dark Bow, you can definitely kill these bots. Anyone can do it. I don't think I was the only one doing it. As a matter of fact, I think there's like 3 other guys that were constantly hopping in Bloodbark, and they looked to me like they were just targeting bots like I was. So this is no new method. I've actually covered this about 6 months ago, maybe even it was before that, but yeah, it was about 10 mil an hour back in those days, and now it's like 7 to 8 mil an hour. So overall, I got 50 kills in a time span of 4 hours and 30 minutes. So that's awesome, averaging, you know, more than 10 kills an hour there, and cashing in what really seems to be a minimum of a 400k key and upwards of a 700k key. Made a ton of money killing those Spindle bots, and now I think I'm gonna go over to Artio and do the next 5 hours and 30 minutes here. And here we are at Artio. As you can see here, we are using Swerve's house for probably the remainder of this video, because most of these Artio bots are all in the range of combat from like 79 to 93. And we had no problem killing him. Nice blood bark as well. Some of them wear blood bark, but a lot of them wear enchanted and mystic. We'll get into that in a second though. We have someone attacking me right after I got this kill, and this guy's a little bit higher level than me, but I wanted to show you guys this whole fight just sped up, because this is an example of me fighting someone who I actually am better than. You know, a lot of the times you guys see me fight these very experienced PKers on my main who would just demolish me, but on Swerve's house I find more people around my skill set or below it so that I actually have a fighting chance, and I love it when that happens. It's just a fight where everything seems to go your way, so I had no problem getting this kill. I'm trying to look at his gloves. What gloves was he wearing? Let's see if they're in the looting chest. It's a 300k PK, but the bot had 750k surprisingly. Oh my god, he was wearing leather gloves. Okay, well I really can't feel that great about that kill now. Jeez, I didn't notice that the first time around. Alright, there's another bot slayed, 691k, and I found one on my main, but yeah, I'm not too sure about these higher level Artio killers. I didn't run into that many of them, so yeah, kind of hard to say if that guy was a bot or not. Either way though, I had a long chase on Swerve. We got a 500k key. A lot of these bots running from Artio down to level 7 wilderness, but that's what it takes sometimes. 800k is what I get if you stick with it. Surprisingly, in 30 minutes, I actually managed to make 5 mil killing Artio bots, making a total of 31 mil profit in 5 hours so far from both Spindle and Artio. All right, let's take down this guy. It's awesome when they're at the northern part of the room. They're so much easier to kill. So we got that key, and then surprisingly, I hopped to another world, and this guy had just got done killing a level 70 bot, so I figured I probably wouldn't get the chance to attack him, but I guess he forgot to teleport, so I got a beautiful DDS spec on him, which got me another 500k key, and on top of that, I got 222k from him. All right, looks like we got another PKer here. It lasted a long time, this fight, but the DDS pulled through for us yet again. It's so awesome to kill people my level here, because they always risk a decent amount. 2.3 mil from this guy. Yeah, I really feel more comfortable PKing on Swerve than I do my main, as it goes for just people in my same combat bracket. Being 80 combat, or 85 combat, I should say, really opens up the opportunity to attack lower levels and just people who, you know, can't hit hit so high at being max level. So yeah, it's a whole different environment for me PKing on Swerve compared to PKing on my, level 126. And yeah, just these bots all being in this 80 combat bracket or 70, even a few 90s, means that I can always have a great money maker on Swerve, being 85 combat, not really having any PVMing ability on this account, just a lot of PKing ability. And it really does pay off killing these bots. Maybe one day if I get enough confidence, I'll make just a PKing video on this account and we'll just go target actual PKers instead of bots that can't fight back. But to be fair, these bots fight back. They ice barrage you, they Accursed Scepter special attack you to lower your magic level. It's actually very difficult to kill them sometimes, but just sometimes. All right, another good key coming up on Swerve. Let's go ahead and open this up to see 538k, and I also got a good kill on my main, but I didn't get it on video. 3.3 mil almost from that one. Not sure if he was a bot. It's kind of hard to say sometimes. I did run into the occasional PKer. Didn't really have too many fights though. I was risking a lot of GP on my main, and since I already got lured earlier and lost about 40 mil, I didn't want to take that risk again. So I have no problem fighting anyone on Swerve, and if it goes bad, I'll just, entangle them and log out. But yeah, much more paranoid on my main account now. So it is what it is though. These keys are just continuously adding up. This is almost like 48 million GP made in a time span of 7 hours. That is just, that's not even a 9 to 5. That's like a 9 to 4, and you're making this kind of GP. It's absolutely insane. I did take the time out of my day to wait for this bot to die from my poison, and that's why it's always important to PK with a poisoned dagger instead of a normal one. 663k from him. As you can see, the bot setup here, it's like it's very similar. A lot of these bots have Mystic Robe bottom, Enchanted Robe top. So yeah, it's decent loot at the end of the day. I managed to actually kill a Dragon Claw Rusher as well at this combat bracket, receiving a very nice 1.3 mil key. It looks like he was a Zerker, but he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So yeah, I did manage to get another kill on the main account, taking a Dragon Pickaxe from this guy. Kind of hard not to want to kill normal PVMers at Artio in the max combat bracket, because sometimes they risk so much. You always sometimes run into these strange guys who are doing their Slayer task or just killing skeletons. Like, what was that guy thinking in that gear? But we got 100k from him and the rest of his tunas. 544k from the bot, and I had a close encounter here, not of the third kind, but actually getting killed by Artio, and surprisingly this bot did not hit me once, so I was able to get all of my stuff back, which almost never happens because these bots are known for fighting back and freezing you and attacking you. So that was great. Wow, 900k key from that one. That is insane. Let's go in for the Darkbow spec here on the main. All right, guy had a DFS on. This should be a decent key. 1.4 mil, I will take it. Looks like his glory wasn't even charged. But, we haven't seen a pet all video. You guys know in these bot busting videos, there's always got to be a pet attached, and there he is. One of them had it, and we took it from him. Big dog. 523k key on top of that, and you can kind of tell by the amount of times that I kill these bots in level 7 wilderness that a lot of them do get far. Yeah, these fights are not the easiest when you splash so much. Oh, this is coming way too close for my liking, but luckily we hit a 45, which if we would not have hit that 45, I probably would have hit the ground dead. So I'm so happy that we got this anti-PKer. 9.7 mil loot key. Wow, I gotta kill anti-PKers more. It's like I am the anti-PKer most of the time, so I don't like fighting them, but when it works out, wow, that loot's looking good. Back to the bots though, these keys just stacking up on each other. 500k here, 600k here, getting ice barrage there. There's all sorts of things happening at Artio. We are 9 hours into the video, 1 hour left to go. If you have watched this far, thank you. I am impressed, to say the least. So thank you very much. And yeah, these keys have really made a significant amount of GP on Swerve. Probably going to be able to repurchase my volatile staff soon, and that'll be awesome to use. I managed to take down another PKer. It was like not even a fight. I think I 2-hit him, so we got 500k from him. And yeah, I was just being the most efficient I could here. You always have to teleport to the Ferox and just quickly go through that portal, get your stats rejuvenated. Luckily, I almost never need special attack to kill these bots. It just so happens to come in handy sometimes. So I don't have to go to the ornament pool or anything like that to save time. I just simply go back to the Ferox. And yeah, this is a very quick system. As you can see, there's a lot of bear traps in the room sometimes when I enter. So yes, these bots do tend to get away, I'd say like 20% of the time. But 80% of the time, if you get the entangle after the teleblock in, then you can almost 100% kill them. It's just you have to know what you know, they're praying and you have to know how to go about their prayer switching. One thing I love to do was just one tick spec with my DDS. That worked out a lot of the time. And another thing that I like to do was just use my rune crossbow when I was wearing all magic gear. Again, you learn these things while you kill these bots. It's kind of just learning on the go. And what a great 10-hour experience it was. I killed a ton of bots today and I made a ton of GP and I learned my lesson from getting lured. So let's do the recap. Overall, on Mr. No Sleep, the main, we killed 58 people, most of them being bots, for a grand total of 46 million GP. Obviously, that 9 mil PK helping out a lot, but yeah, it's a decent number to see on the main. And now it's time for Swerve. The overall loot on Swerve after killing 47, I'd say like 45 bots and 2 normal players, 28 mil on Swerve. There's all the loot, tons of stuff. So now you do 46 mil plus 28 mil equals 74 mil made in 10 hours, which means bot killing is some of the best GP an hour for quite a lot of players, I'd say, if you can get the hang of doing this, which if I can do it, anyone can do it. I really do believe that. So yeah, I had a little bit of bloopers happen too. I wanted to save those for the end of the video, but it happens. That's why you don't target normal players, just bots. But hey guys, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this very long video. If you got this far, I cannot even believe it. Thank you, and a huge thank you to the YouTube channel members for your monthly support, with a special shout out to xXzoticx, DeceptionZ, and LettuceAttak. Also, a quick reminder to check out today's sponsor in the description below. It does help out the channel a lot, so thank you for that. And until next time, Mr. No Sleep out.